ambiguous yet characterized by its adherence to a specific set of beliefs. Ang kapangyarihan ng relihiyon ay nakatago sa kakayahan nito to bring people together, to persuade and usher the people into a new perspective, a new life. Pero alam mo bang nakapagdudulot din ng relihiyon ng gulo at ng mga unwanted events?
We begin with Nigeria, where a woman has been beaten to death and set on fire on college premises. She was a student in this college. Her killers were her own classmates. What was her crime? Blasphemy.
Muslims and Hindus violently clashing on the streets of the capital, Delhi, during a month meant to be holy for both groups.
Drag artist Puraluka Vega is facing new criminal charges for allegedly offending religious feelings.
Ethnic clashes between the Hindu majority Métis community and the tribal Christian Kuki minority over land and influence in the state has left at least 180 people dead and over 500 injured.
Maraming bagay ang hindi alam ng mga taong bayan tungkol sa relihiyon. We are here to change that.
Nakagawa ka na ba ng isang bagay na nagpapakita ng isang hindi pagrespeto sa paniniwala ng nakararami? Or have you done something that might look disrespectful in the eyes of religious believers to the point that you are almost facing legal action? Tama. Tama ang inyong narinig. Legal action. Dahil alam niyo ba na ang hindi pagrespeto sa paniniwala ng isang taong relihiyoso ay posibleng umabot sa pagsampa ng kaso. Recently, a devotee of Our Lady Mary Mediatrix of All Grace, an image of Mary in Lipa, Batangas City, filed a suit against the Dominican priest from Batangas who also serves as an exorcist in the Vatican for the crime of offending religious feelings. Ayon sa nasabing kaso, ang Dominican priest na ito ay patuloy na inatake at binatikos ang nasabing imahe, pati ang mga taong sumasamba dito. Ang naging batayan ng pari sa pagkondena ay ang desisyon ng Vatican na ang imahe ng Our Lady Mary Mediatrix of All Grace sa Batangas City ay hindi milagroso at wala daw itong pinanggalingan na himala. But how can we really point out if something is already offensive or already out of line with the feelings of the faithful, especially with the fact that we have our freedom of expression as well? And how is it that the state can still intervene with the things going on in religion, given the fact that there is a separation between the state and religion based on the 1987 Constitution? Ngayon na may iba't ibang paniniwala sa pagitan ng mga Katoliko, ano nga ba ang isang relihiyon? Para sa video na inyong napapanood ngayon, pag-usapan natin ang magkakasalungat na paniniwala ng mga religious believers, ang pagkakaisa ng estado at simbahan sa panahon ng kolonyal na Espanyol, at kung ano nga ba ang tunay na diwa ng relihiyon. The specific law quoted by the Roman Catholic lady devotee of Our Lady Mary Mediatrix of All Grace is actually Article 133 of the Revised Penal Code. Father Winston Cabading, a Dominican priest, was sued under the pretense of having violated Article 133 by Harriet Demetrio, a former COMELEC chairperson and Sandigan Bayan judge. Ang pagsampa ng kaso laban kay Father Winston Cabading ay nagresulta ng kaliwat-kanan na kontrobersiya at debate na madalas ay makikita sa mga social media platforms, partikular ang Reddit at Twitter. Ang tanong, ano nga ba ang naging dahilan kung bakit sinasamba ng mga Katoliko ang imahen sa Lipa, Batangas City? Our Lady Mary Mediatrix of All Grace is allegedly a Marian apparition. Ibig sabihin, nagpakita ang nasabing imahen sa Carmelite Monastery sa Lipa, Batangas. Ayon kay Teresita Castillo, isang dating Carmelite postulant, nakapansin siya ng isang nakakahalimuyak na amoy sa loob ng kanyang silid na tila na ikaw ay nasa langit. Upon entering her room, she encountered a lovely lady in white who talked to her. Dahil sa pangyayaring ito, ang imahen ng Our Lady of Mary Mediatrix of All Grace ay isa ng sagrado at milagroso para sa mata ng mga Katoliko sa Batangas City. Ang konsepto ng pagkakaroon o pagkilala sa mga sagradong bagay ay mahalaga sa relihiyon. In Milderheim, a well-known sociologist listed his preliminary definition of the essential parts of any religious system in one of his major works, which included sacred things, those who can be isolated and protected by strong interdictions as opposed to profane things, which must remain separate from their sacred counterparts. Ibig sabihin, ang sacred things o ang mga sagradong bagay ay dapat pinoprotektahan at iniingatan at palaging inihihiwalay sa mga ordinaryong bagay o ang tinatawag natin na profane. Ang pagkakaroon ng paniniwala na ang imahen ay isa ng ganap na sagrado ang naging pundasyon sa pagkakaroon nila ng religious feelings. It is part of the devotee practice of Our Lady Mary, Mediatrix of All Grace, to consider the picture sacred. Gayunpaman, ang desisyon ng Vatican na ang nabanggit na imahe ay hindi mapaghimala at walang milagroso na pinagmulan ang nagsisilbing ugat para sa argumento na ito. Kaya, sa perspektibo ng Dominicanong pare, hindi nararapat na sambahin ito sa anumang paraan. In this sense, we can see how different religions can just actually influence social norms within a society. As this case became the talk of various news media outlets, Rafi Cravistante, a journalist who wrote an article pertaining to the issue with the headline, "Calls to Revoke Religious Feelings Offense Renewed After Case versus Priest," recounts on lawyer Christian Monsaud's desire to revoke the provision in question, citing it as unconstitutional due to its subjectivity and because, according to him, the Article 133 was basically a throwback to the age of church intolerance and oppression during the Spanish colonial period. Dagdag pa rito, kung babalikan natin ang panahon ng Kastila, ayon sa Filipino historian na si Renato Constantino, sinabi niya sa kanyang libro na A History of the Philippines from the Spanish Colonization to the Second World War, mayroong pagkakaisa ang estado at ang relihiyon. This was a union that was far from perfect, with both parties having some conflict here and there, but still one that basically saw both working and benefiting from each other, with the church legitimizing the power of the state and essentially pacifying the people and the state protecting and strengthening the church. Kung susumahin, ang pagkakaisa na ito ay sa paraan na ang dalawang partido ay makatatanggap ng benepisyo mula sa isa't isa. Dahil ang simbahan ang may malakas na kapangyarihan at ang may mataas na posisyon sa loob ng lipunan noon, binibigyan ng simbahan ang estado ng permiso na patahimikin at pasunurin ang mga tao. At ang estado naman ang susuporta at ang magpapatibay sa relihiyon. Roman Catholicism through the years and across the two other countries who would liberate us would remain a staple part of the life of its Filipino believers even after the separation of the church and the state as per the 1987 Constitution. Kung kaya't ang nasabing pagsampa ng kaso laban sa Dominicanong pare ay nag-ugat sa relasyon ng Estado at ng simbahan sa panahon ng kolonyalismo ng mga Kastila. This long-standing relationship between the people and religion and the history of the church and state, sociologically speaking, could explain the reaction and subsequent action taken by Harriet Demetrio after Father Winston Cabading's comments and the presence of Article 133 in the revised penal laws of the Philippines respectively. Ngayon, bumalik naman tayo sa isa sa napakahalagang tanong. Paano nga ba natin masasabi na ang ginagawa natin ay maituturing na offensive o nakasasakit sa damdamin ng isang taong may matibay na pananampalataya? There is a debate going on between who defines what is notoriously offensive and Catholics' argument that no right is absolute, thus others should know better and behave appropriately by not offending them. Sa ganitong kalagayan, masasabi natin na nakadepende sa mata at damdamin ng mga taong relihiyoso ang basehan ng isang hindi pagrespeto sa relihiyon. Therefore, religion is subjective since it must be determined based on the feelings and sentiments of Catholics themselves. Ikaw, ano sa tingin mo ang relihiyon?